Okay, let's go.
Hey everybody, and welcome to my channel. I thank you for all your support. If you're new to the channel, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Share the video. I appreciate everything you guys do here by following my channel. And today we've got CDCR news. More CDCR news, more violence. I want to start by this news release. Said it was released on the 4th. It happened on the 3rd. They released it on a day later. This is the way they do it at CDCR. And today's the 5th. Now, I checked yesterday and I didn't see any news. This was not on there yesterday, and I looked. So at what point and what time they posted this, maybe in the middle of the night, I don't know. But I didn't see it on there, this breaking news here, until today, which is the 5th, Thursday the 5th. It's early morning. So let's get on to their news here and go from there. Okay, so an attempted homicide of California State Prison Corcorcan officer under investigation. Corcorcan. We all know about Corcoran's history. It's not a good place. Not a good place to be. Corcoran's very violent prison. For those of you who have been there, I've never been there, but those of you that have been there, they know. Those of you who have worked there know. So let's go on. So September 4th is what they're saying. The news release came out. Corcorcan, California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, the CDCR officials are investigating an attack on a peace officer at California State Prison, Corcorcan, COR, as an attempted homicide. So on September 3rd, 2024, at approximately 4:10 p.m., inmate Bobby Dominguez allegedly reached through the bars of a shower door and attacked a correctional officer. Staff immediately responded to assist the officer from the area. Medical personnel was summoned and 911 was activated. The officer was transported at 4:43 p.m. to an outside medical facility where he was treated and was released that evening. So he was not, looks like he's going to be okay. He was treated and released. An inmate manufactured weapon was found at the scene. Dominguez was subsequently transferred to California Healthcare Facility. CDCR officials are currently investigating the incident. The case will be referred to the Kings County District Attorney's Office for possible felony prosecution. Peer support services are being offered to employees. Dominguez, 30, was most recently received from Monterey County on June 20th, 2023, sentenced to 6 years for an assault with a deadly weapon on a peace officer as a second striker. Dominguez was initially received from Los Angeles County on April 11th, 2014, sentenced to 4 years for inflicting corporal injury or on a cohabitant. While incarcerated, he was sentenced on June 23rd, 2016 to 5 years for an in-prison offense of assault with a deadly weapon or force to cause great bodily injury by an inmate. And in addition, he was sentenced on June 21st, 2017 to 1 year for an in-prison offense of battery on a non-prisoner. Activated in 1988, Corcorcan houses approximately 2,500 minimum, medium, high, and maximum security custody inmates. They keep trying to trick me up with that incarcerated person. So the prison provides the incarcerated population with work, vocational, academic, educational, self-help, religious, and other rehabilitative programs, has a fully licensed correctional treatment center, and employs approximately 2,100 people. And there is Mr. Dominguez right there. Bobby Dominguez. Now, I just wanted to touch back on this. Go back on this here. So, if you add up all his time, so his initial, he was initially from Los Angeles County. So he's from down south. He's a Southerner. That's my guess, my opinion. On April 11th of 2014, he was sentenced to 4 years for inflicting corporal injury on a cohabitant, which pretty much he beat the shit out of Sally. Probably was told, or probably a removal, whatever the reason, bad paperwork somebody had. I don't know. I'm just guessing. It's my opinion here. While incarcerated, he was sentenced on June 23rd, 2016 to 5 years for an in-prison offense of assault with a deadly weapon or force to cause great bodily injury by an incarcerated person. Then they got me that time, damn it. By an inmate. So, let's keep going. In addition, he was sentenced on June 21st, 2017 to 1 year for an in-prison offense of battery on a non-prisoner, which a CO more than likely, but it could have been any staff member working at the prison. It doesn't say CO, but it could have been a CO or any other staff member that works at the prison. So let's start out where his initially he came from LA County on the 2014, and he was sentenced to 4 years. But while he was in there, 2 years into his sentence, he got 5 more years, so 9 years, for assault with a deadly weapon to cause great bodily injury by an incarcerated person. And we already know what that's all about. In addition, he was sentenced in June 21st of 2017, so a year later after that, to another year for an in-prison offense of battery on a non-prisoner, which we just talked about. And then you go back up here, he was received from Monterey County on June 20th, 2023, sentenced to 6 more years for assault with a deadly weapon on a peace officer as a second striker. So, Monterey County. So he was received from Monterey County to Corcorcan. I was born and raised in Monterey County. I was born and raised in Salinas, California. And you got Salinas Valley Prison, and that's where I'm saying he's coming from. And then you had Soledad, which CTF prison, which I believe is closed, or most of it's closed. But more likely he came from Salinas Valley. So June 20th, 2023, he was sentenced to 6 years for assault with a deadly weapon on a peace officer. So that time a year ago, a little over a year ago, he was sentenced to 6 years for assaulting a CO. And that was probably in Salinas Valley, my guess, because that's the only prisons there in Monterey County. And so he has a history. Now, my opinion, my perspective. Obviously, he's clicked up with the car, his gang. I'm not going to get too far into that because that's really none of my business, and I don't know the facts. I can only tell you what I'm reading right here in front of me. But as I was pointed out by and shout outs to 16 to Life. He pointed out on one of my videos how I only tell one side of the story. But to my defense, I was reading the same thing that I'm reading to you right now. And I'm only giving you what the CDCR says. Of course, there's always two sides to every story, why he did it, what he did. But as you can see, he has a history of violence in prison. And he started out with a 4-year sentence and ended up with a, 16-year sentence altogether. 4 years, 6 years, 4 years, 5 years. So there's 15 and then another year. So 16 years. He started out with 4 years. He got 16. Now he's up to 16. And then he just did this assault on a CO. Now, another thing, my perspective. This is just that's why I call it my perspective. I like that word better because it's my opinion, my perspective on it. Is if you look at what they said, okay, I've never been to Corcorcan, never worked there, never was an inmate there, so I couldn't tell you how the showers worked there. But they said that he reached through the bars of the shower door and attacked the correctional officer, and then they found a weapon, This is just my perspective on it. I don't get into the gang politics, his car, whatever, if he's on, I'm sure he is, but that's, again, speculation. Was it personal? Was this CO an asshole? Was he poking the bear? Was he, that I couldn't tell you that. Does this guy have a history of attacking COs and other staff members? Yes. But so this CO, to me, and this is my perspective, working in as a CO, as a felony probation officer, as an investigator. I mean, I have a lot of jobs. I worked in the law enforcement field. Just like I said in the Sonia Massey shooting, I did it's on my video list. If everybody's, I'm sure, seen all the other videos, but I did the full body cam footage of it. And the officer pounds on the door and stands in front of the door. You can see a shadow, like he's straight standing in front of the door. And there's 2 windows, one on each side. I was taught, this is my training, and that is, you never stand in front of the door. You always stand to the side of the door. You knock on the door. You stand to the side of the door. That way, because you never know what can happen. People shoot through the door all the time. That way you're not standing right in front of the door. Somebody shoots and then goes right through the door, hits you. You're done. Or out through the windows on the sides. So if you keep yourself against the house on the side of the door, knock. Announce yourself of who you are when you're knocking. Anyways, it has to do, so there was a lack of training there. So was it a lack of training here, or was this CO an older CO that was just lax? Was he a rookie? I'm sure they teach you in there. I never worked for the CDCR. I worked in corrections, was never the CDCR. I live in a different state now, so they have different rules and everything's different. But it's common sense. You want to distance yourself from those bars. That's just common sense. Distance yourself from those bars. He obviously is laxed, or for whatever reason was leaning up against the bars, chit-chatting. I don't know what the hell he was doing. But even as, not even your training, and your training should be, but I was just taught this by my dad, like as a kid. He always told me, don't let anyone get within an arm's length around your whole self. He always says that's your personal space. Anybody that comes into that space is a threat because, say you don't know them. And I'm not talking about just, like your family or what. Well, even your family, shit. I've got into it with my family before. But you just don't let no one in that area, that space, arm's length out, because you're setting yourself up. If somebody wants to assault you and you let them close to you, before you know it, they could freaking knock you out, stab you, whatever they're going to do to you. So is it a lack of training? Could be. Could be a lack of training. Could be lax. He was just too lax. But we will never know, because the CDCR likes to put this out there and put this under investigation, and then we never hear again about it. And that was one of the things that on one of my stories, again, that I was kind of schooled on, which I appreciate it 100%. Much respect to 16 to Life for that they put out the narrative, and then you just have to kind of guess of what happened. I mean, this guy does have a very long history of, assaults within the prison and on COs and other people that work there, other employees. So I'm not going to, say either way. But what's going to happen is, just like all these other stabbings that's been happening lately in the CDCR, are they ever going to tell you what the results of the investigation? What was their conclusion? No, they're not going to do that. They're not going to put that back onto the CDC or news. They're not going to do it. Anyways, guys, with that, I wanted to make you guys, this is the newest news, breaking news from the CDCR. I wanted to get it out as fast as I could to you guys. Again, it does say the 4th. It happened on the 3rd. Today's Thursday the 5th. This was not here yesterday when I looked on the CDCR. So they're always like a day, 2 days after. Anyways, guys, again, thank you for your support. Thanks for stopping by. Hit that like and subscribe. Share my video. Get it out there. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a safe day, a great day today. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.